Hi, this is CJ Mathews. I'm Assistant Vice President Marketing at Rajesh Lifespaces. Rajesh Lifespaces has been a stalwart of the real estate industry, having been around for over 50 years now. And in these 50 years, they have contributed to delivering 100 landmarks across suburban Bombay, which houses roughly or more than 12,000 families. Having said that about Rajesh Lifespaces, one of the things that I have always been privy to understand about Bombay real estate is that every brand owner, every promoter is working very hard to bring the best of quality housing to the stable or ever growing demand of residential real estate here in Bombay. Putting together the finest amenities possible, putting together more relevant technology that is possible to be able to always deliver what this city needs with its migration patterns, with its financial prosperity, etc., etc. Real estate, as much as any other business, will always have its phases. Any other business that operates in any part of the world always goes through its own business cycle, whether that business cycle lasts a couple of years, whether it lasts a couple of months. And Indian real estate, Bombay real estate is no stranger to its own business cycles. So I wouldn't agree that Indian real estate is going through doldrums. There is always a pause before you start a sentence. There's always the lull before the storm. So what we are going through at this point of time is a realignment of priorities, both from the consumers and the bureaucracy and the developers. Everybody is realigning themselves to understand what the future holds for the city. Yes, during this phase, transactions aren't as healthy as they all were supposed to be or are supposed to be, but it helps everybody kind of catch their breath before they dive deep down into making everybody very busy people. And I'm sure before the end of 2015, we'll all have a very, very large smile on our faces. So with regards to bureaucracy, one of our, when I say our, I'm talking about the whole of the industry put together. One of the things that we have always asked for is to regularize our industry, is to try and put all our approvals being regulated by one single authority. Now, there are an umpteen number of promoters from our industry who have always asked for a single window clearance. Should this become a reality, every single stakeholder in the industry will always find real estate a good business opportunity, real estate a good investment opportunity, and it's by far going to be a win-win situation for everybody involved. We're marketing about 7 projects across various suburbs of Bombay. Let me start with White City in Kandivali East. It's a project that has 1, 2, 3 and 4 BHK apartment offerings. We move on to Raj Infinia in Malad West. That is a project that has 2, 3 and 4 BHK apartments. We then move on to Powai, which is Raj Grandeur, which is 3 and 4 BHK apartments. We then have Raj Altiza in Mulund West and 2 new projects in Thane called Raj Torres and Raj Tattva. We also have a lot of upcoming locations. If you just check our website, you can also register your interest for those projects and locations. In my reading and in my minimal involvement in mass housing, I think the first stumbling block to any participant in the mass housing industry is to be able to put a substantial amount of land bank together to be able to facilitate mass housing. The economies that needs to be looked into while putting together a mass housing project obviously starts with the most important raw material, which is land. If regulation and administration can catch up with the needs of the business or with the needs of the consumer, and we are able to put land banks together that will facilitate mass housing, that one major stumbling block can really open up the bottleneck to a lot more participants in mass housing, and mass housing becoming more of a reality sooner than later. Commitment to mass housing by another government is itself an inspiration that we should all pick up from. And I'm not just pointing fingers here at the bureaucracy. I think every other stakeholder in the business can also learn a lot from mass housing projects, no matter where they are. Effects on environment, staging times. There's so much to learn. Maybe not all of that will work for our business environment or our actual environment, but it can always inspire us to be able to find unique solutions to our own unique problems. Evolution of technology has not just been with regards to construction and technicalities. Technology has also ruled the roost with regards to how developers are providing a more wholesome, suitable customer experience to when that potential homeowner comes over to their project site, sales office. Technology has also got involved in how, as developers with viable projects, we are communicating with potential customers in distant countries, that is our NRIs and PIOs, and having them envisage some kind of interest in our projects. So technology has played an important role in every facet of our business, and there are a lot of proponents in any developers organization and at large in the industry on how we can continuously infuse a lot more technology into our processes, into the customer experience, into the transaction, and definitely not the least, definitely into construction. To talk about one specific example in technology and the intervention that technology has been able to provide, one of the technologies that a lot of developers here in Bombay or probably across India have started using is something called MyOne technology. Now, this enables a developer to be able to cut down slab processing time or creating an actual floor in the simplest terms. Go back about 10-15 years, it would take us roughly about 28-29 days and a plethora of workmen to put together just the slab for one floor. Today we have MyOne technology which helps us put that slab, and I have heard of record times where a whole slab has been put together in 5 days. Now, other than just time saving and cost saving, this has also contributed to higher integrity of the actual raw structure of a building. MyOne technology uses lesser joints as such as opposed to a brick wall would need, and that has reduced one of the oldest problems in Indian real estate, which is leakages. Taking on from MyOne technology, there is always going to be some amount of resistance to change management, whether it happens in the industry, whether it happens across or within organizations. Better and newer technologies sometimes get inhibited by cost, sometimes get inhibited by the lack of learning or exposure, but there are a progressive number of developers who are continuously doing research into better technologies and are incorporating those technologies into their construction processes so as to be able to give a better product. Now, having said that, I think we as a homeowner ourselves must understand how to treat our surroundings once we get our home, so that we are also not the reason for creating leakages to our neighbors or cracks in the wall, etc., etc. So whenever we are doing changes within our own home, I think we should look for the best technical expertise that we can get if you're not talking to your developer directly about the changes you want to make into your home.